you could make the case that the 7 teams that made it, the 7th would be the argument, I would think, are the best teams that the AFC's had all year long. Ravens and Chiefs and Bills and Dolphins and Browns, Texans, right, when Stroud was healthy or is healthy. And then, the 7 seed's kind of a coin flip. I know the Colts did beat the Steelers, but that was when they had Trubisky, and I think they looked like a different team with Mason Rudolph for a reason. And Jacksonville was the one that complied because they lost. That's how the Bills got in before they even took the field last night in Miami.
And the Jags are headline number 2, right? When you're like, oh yeah, what happened earlier in the day? Oh yeah, it was the Jags just collapsing down the stretch, continuing to collapse. And I think the disappointing thing for Jags fans is when you say you got to be able to run the football late in the year, when you say you got to be able to stop the run late in the year, it's not just because it's cold or because it's cliche or because old football guys are saying it. You got to be able to do those things because look around the league. You're playing a backup quarterback. What do you think they're going to do? I know it's Tannehill, but what do you think they're going to do in Derrick Henry's last game? They're going to get the ball on the perimeter. They're going to use the screen game. They're going to see if your guys outside can tackle. But more than anything, they're going to put the ball behind that Skoronski kid's ass, and he's going to do work up there. And you're going to get whatever you want. And that's how it played out defensively for that group. And then offensively, you can't run the ball. You just can't. I mean, they're one of the worst teams in the league running the football. They haven't had a 100-yard rusher more than once, or they haven't had 100 yards as a team more than once since week 10, I think. And it's a design flaw. Like you draft Tank Bigsby in the 3rd round. You don't see a lot of him. You draft Strange in the 2nd round. He had a key hold yesterday. Trevor, I want to make him the headliner because people get so emotional about this quarterback thing. I'm not anti-Trevor. I'm not pro-Trevor. I'm just calling it how I see it. Like, I know he's hurt, but the throws he missed at the end of that game question the decision-making, right, in putting him in that game. And I totally understand his thinking as a competitor, checking to the sneak on 4th and goal and that sort of thing, but he's dinged up. They couldn't run the ball. Their 1st and 2nd down stuff where Tennessee's just stopping the ball or the run with the light box. They're just popping it out on the perimeter and hoping for the best, but their guys outside are coming down and tackling. So I think Tennessee's the more physical team. And the quarterback would have had to play spectacularly with the injuries that they've had at receiver, Zay Jones. It's almost worse for him to be out and then back in and out again. He's been in and out all year. Kirk leaving during a key stretch. It's not all on the QB, but I do look at it like, for a guy that's led the league in turnovers since he's been in the league, like the second one for sure is on him. There were multiple 3rd downs early in the game where you're just like, hey, whether it's the Ingram drop, whether it's him and Zay Jones off target, this has plagued them all year. You bring in Ridley, you got 3 slot guys, right? So it's a design flaw. It's a scheme flaw. You barely play Ridley in the slot. I just feel like they had a bad plan this year, and then the injuries happened and it got even worse. So when you can't run the ball and you can't stop the run at the end of the season, look around the league. There's a ton of backup quarterbacks. There's guys hurt. That's why you have to be able to stop the run and run the ball. It's not some cliche, and they couldn't do it.
Catch the Rich Eisen Show every single day on the Roku channel, 12 to 3 Eastern, for free.